second session of our fourth chapter, Louis Pasteur, Conqueror of Disease, written by E.H. Carter. As I told in the first session, we have seen an introduction about Louis Pasteur's life, his studies, his marriage, his wife, in which field he was interested, or what was his dream about his life, what he wanted to do as an achievement in his life. These all things we have seen in the first session. And so I already had told in the first session video. In the second session we will be discussing about Louis Pasteur's achievements or discoveries, inventions in his life. And so as we already told in the this is the second session, and today we are going to discuss about the achievements what he had done to help the fellow beings or the common people, that we are going to see in today's session. So let us begin. Pasteur, as a young chemist, had always been interested in the problems of why and how living things decay, why milk turns sour, why meat goes bad, why wine ferments. He started to give some lectures in Lille on fermentation. One of the chief industries in Lille was the manufacture of alcohol from beetroot, and he was fortunate in being able to carry out experiments in some of the breweries. One manufacturer consulted Pasteur about his beer, which was turning out badly, and Pasteur, by helping this brewer, managed to discover all sorts of things that he did not know before about yeast. Yeast is used to make beer foam and bread rise up lightly. Pasteur became certain that yeast was alive, made up of tiny living cells. When these cells were healthy, the yeast acted well, but if they were diseased, the yeast and the beer went wrong. So here we begin a life of Louis Pasteur as a young chemist. So in this last paragraph of first session, we have seen that Louis Pasteur in 1854, Louis Pasteur appointed as the head of a college in Northeast Asia, Lille. He was very happy for that because nearby that there was a lot of factories. It was a town of trades and industries. So as a scientist or as a researcher, that place was very perfect for Louis Pasteur. So here, as a young scientist, Louis Pasteur was very much anxious or excited about some things, some daily life things. Let us see what are they. First thing, how these living things decay, or why these living things decay, and why this milk turns into sour, why meat goes bad, why wine ferments. These were Louis Pasteur's doubts, or he was anxious about these things. What is the reason behind all these actions? This milk turns sour, meat goes bad, wine ferments, otherwise living things decay. Now you know that if something, for example, if a plant, after it's falling down, if it is going into the soil, after some years it will completely decay, or including our body, it will decay once it went to the once it goes to the soil. Definitely it will decay it will decompose by bacteria and all that we have studied in science subjects and all. So these were the anxieties or doubts of Louis Pasteur as a young scientist. So he was behind these thoughts. He started to give some lectures in Lille on fermentation. So he was studying about these things, and he was giving some lectures. As we already have seen that he was the head of a college, so there he was giving some lectures about this fermentation and all. One of the chief industries in Lille was the manufacture of alcohol from beetroot, and he was fortunate in being able to carry out experiments in some of the breweries. So Louis Pasteur got a chance to do some experiments in a brewery. There one industry was there in Lille, who were the manufacturer of alcohol from beetroot. They were making alcohol or beer from beetroot. One industry was there. Louis Pasteur once got a chance to do some experiments in some breweries there in Lille. Once one manufacturer of beer came and told to Pasteur that his beer was turning out badly, like it is getting it was unable to use, it's not good to use, it was getting bad. So once one manufacturer of beer complained this to, or told this or informed this to Louis Pasteur, and this information or this problem helped Louis Pasteur to do many experiments or inventions about yeast. After this only, or after listening this problem only, Louis Pasteur studied more about yeast, and he gave a lot of contributions about yeast to the field of science or chemistry. There he started. Before that he was not knowing, or before that he had no idea about the yeast, but after listening this problem, Louis Pasteur started concentrating on yeast, and he made some inventions about that. So yeast, what was yeast? You may see yeast in your home, it is available in the market and all. Yeast we use for here, in that place yeast was using for two main purposes. One, to form beer, to form the beer, to make beer foam. Then bread rise up lightly. In our commonly we use this yeast. If you ask to your parents, especially your mothers, they may know that they add some, like when we prepare some battery for this to prepare dosha, appam, idli and all. If you add little yeast within morning, after adding that we will tie it up, and within morning it will rise up, the level of the battery will rise up. So for those purpose we use yeast in our places. Commonly in those areas they use yeast to make beer foam and bread rise up lightly. It will become more soft also. So Pasteur became certain that yeast was alive, made up of tiny cell. Pasteur knew one thing, that this yeast was not dead cell. They were alive, and they are made up of tiny living cells. They are some minute living cells. So Pasteur came to a conclusion that once when the yeast acted well, this beer or bread getting good result, or once the yeast got dead or diseased, even the beer also goes wrong. So he came to this conclusion: if the yeast cells are good, this beer or this bread giving good result, what we want. Or if it is getting diseased, if the cells are diseased, this beer or this bread giving bad result, or these things also getting bad. After a few years, Pasteur was made director of scientific studies at a famous college in Paris. He was still thinking about decay and yeast and germs, and one of the problems that he was trying to answer was this: do germs form from other germs, or do they just come of themselves? People like Pasteur believed that germs were carried in the air and might infected other things that came in contact with them. Others believed in what they called spontaneous generation. They believed that germs had no parents but just occurred by themselves. So after some years, Louis Pasteur he has become the director of scientific studies in a college of Paris, a famous college in Paris. But even though he was thinking about this thing, why these things are decaying, he was behind this. And why this yeast and germs, these yeast, germs, and why these living things decaying, these all things were a problem for Louis Pasteur. He was thinking about this only. His doubt was, these germs are forming from other germs, which means they have parent cells or not, or simply they are coming by themselves only or not. This was Louis Pasteur's biggest doubt, whether these germs are forming from other germs, like we can call it as a parent germ. One germ is forming from a parent germ, or whether it is coming by themselves. This was Louis Pasteur's biggest doubt. Until that time, including Louis Pasteur, people were believing that these germs are carried in the air, and if it is going and affecting some with other things, like if it is getting caught, for example, one germ, it is carried in the air and it is going and getting contact with the other thing and it is affecting them. That was a common belief. So see here correctly it is mentioned, people like Pasteur believed that germs were carried in the air and might infect other things that came in contact with them. These germs, it will carry in the air, or it is going through the air and it is affecting other things which is getting contact with that air. Otherwise, this was one belief in that place, or at that time. Another one believe that these germs are like spontaneous generation. Without any reason, suddenly it is getting growth. This was another one belief. So two common beliefs were there. One was this carried in air and it is affecting things which is getting contact with that air, otherwise it is coming through spontaneous generation. These two were the common beliefs about germs at that time. So, the second group which they believe that spontaneous generation, they say that there is no parent cells for these germs, simply they themselves occurs. That was their belief. So, these were the common two beliefs at that time about germs. Pasteur proved that he was right by a very simple and clever experiment. He put some soup into some bottles and then he boiled it in order to destroy any germs that might already be in the soup. After that, he heated and pulled out the neck of each bottle until it formed a long narrow neck with a big bend in the middle. The soup remained there for a long time and it never went bad as it would have done if it had been standing in a bowl in the kitchen. That, said Pasteur, is because there are no parent germs in the soup and they cannot reach it because of the bend in the long tube. So he took one of the bottle and spilled a little of the soup down the tube so that it settled in the bend. The soup went bad. We often speak of dust trap. Well, this bend in the tube was a dust trap because the dust which we know now may carry germs with it, could get as far as the bend but no farther, and it settled there and infected the soup. So, as we have seen in the last paragraph, Louis Pasteur and some people had a belief what these germs are carried in the air and it is getting affected or affected. These things, some things are affected which has contact with that air or that bad air which has germs already. So, in the same way, Louis Pasteur proved he was right. How he proved? He filled some soup in some bottles and he heated that first. Why? Because already if there is any germs in that soup, it should die. For that purpose, first he boiled that soup, then he closed that and he made a bend in the neck of the bottles. Then so it became closed. Once it boiled and it closed. So now air cannot go inside. In that way, he made a long narrow neck and it got a small bend in the neck. So now there is no contact with the outer air and the soup in that bottle. So air cannot pass through that bend. And so this soup which has no contact with the air, this soup without getting any problem, it stayed for a long time. At the same time, Louis Pasteur filled some soup in that just above that, it's out of that bend. Then now this soup can get a direct contact with the outer air. This soup goes bad. So through this experiment, Louis Pasteur proved that this air is carrying the germs and it is getting contact with other things, and those things also getting affected by the germs. By this experiment, Louis Pasteur proved that these germs are carrying in the air. So that's all for today. There are a number of experiments or balance what Louis Pasteur had done in his life, that in the next sessions we will discuss. I hope you understand today's session. See you with the next session in the next video. Thank you. Take care. Bye.